So tonight we're going to make the fully loaded mini fly. Hopefully this camera angle is right so I don't have to make more than once. But we have these size 20 hooks we got at Walmart. Or not at Walmart, at Gander. For 18 hooks. They are tiny. We better get one of these out. This is going to be really tough for me to tie because I'm not a rookie tire. And they're caddis curved hooks, whatever that means. I'm just going to make a wet a nymph out of them. So here's the size of the hook. Like you can hardly see it on my finger. So we're going to need to put it on the vise. Well, you can barely see. So the challenge of this was to get at least, it was started by 413 Outdoors, who I'll link in the description again. And the challenge is to get at least 4 materials besides the thread and hook onto a really small micro fly. And it was Fly Fishing Ninja's idea, actually. So I attempted to tie this, and my fly is not the most complex looking fly, but it does have that many materials. It has 5 materials on it. So here is how I tied it. They're really tough to tie. I'm not very good at tying. That fly was a flop. So let's start this out. So what do we want to put on? We'll put on the body stuff first on this one. So we're going to put on a little rabbit hair. We're going to start her off with. Can't go wrong with a little rabbit hair. And we need to make sure not to go over the body on this. So I got on rabbit fur. I'm going to mess the rabbit fur all over the place. So you better put on the next material, which is squirrel fur, here's the squirrel tail, so we need to put a little chunk of this. We're going to trim this off. Or they'll just behave like a tail. The squirrel tail's like more like a tail. Then we're going to put some parts of pheasant feather on it. And what other material we're going to put on? Some rooster hackle, which is right here. We can just cut a little chunk off of with the Then we need some flashy stuff. So we have this piece of blue silver flashy stuff. I'm tying salmon flies. And we're going to wrap this around it to get some flash on it. And we need to make sure this is still usable. It appears to be. We're going to trim some of this material off that looks awful. And we're going to see if this awful looking fly catches anything. If this can catch something besides a bluegill, I'll be so happy. And here's what I bet you I buried the hook. No, I didn't. But here's what my fully loaded fly looks like once I trim this black piece off. It is tiny, but it should work. We'll have to find out. It actually sort of looks like a scud, so it might actually work, depending upon how the flashy stuff reflects in the water. But here's what my fully loaded fly looks like. We can't wait to test this out. So I decided to try this fly out at one of my favorite brookie creeks. And this area I know is just loaded with brook trout. So this may be an easier area to catch a trout than a fly. But unfortunately, it is really overgrown with grass, so it is really tough to fish, especially fly fish, in these close quarters. So you can literally just drop your fly down in the water. And the fly was too light, so I ended up putting a small split shot on it to get it to nymph correctly and drift through the holes deep enough to where the fish wanted it. So then I did this for a little while, and I got a few bites, and then finally I was able to execute after missing like 5 or 10 fish on the fly.
We got one on the loaded little nymph. Where'd he fall? We got this little tiny brookie on the loaded nymph. He's a
Then I decided to go test out this fly at a spot where I made some ice fishing videos, which I know is full of little bluegills, because I knew I could catch this species on this fly. So I tried it there for a little while and it worked, as I expected it to work for this species. So we got 2 species of fish on this fly, although they were not very big fish. And I did miss a couple bigger trout on the fly, but I just didn't, was struggling to hook them. So here's another fly tying challenge from 413 Outdoors. Someone on the One Fishing Report page did challenge me to catch a trout on a dry fly that I made. So maybe I'll actually have to tie a dry, like a elk hair or deer hair caddis or something and try to catch a trout on that. Because I think the creeks I have when I flip rocks have a lot of caddisfly nymphs, so I think there's a lot of caddisfly hatches in them. So I may do that challenge when I get to tying that fly. The creeks are pretty brushy, so they're kind of tough to fish, and the wooded creeks are like full of mosquitoes right now. So trout fishing isn't as fun as it is in the spring. And actually, on this day, my camera got all foggy, which I'm really sorry about. But when I started fishing with redworms on a hook, I was just crushing the brookies, and I probably caught like 6 or 8 of them. One really nice, like 12-incher, which I shared to my Instagram. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Good Times Outdoors, who gave me a shout out in their last video, and JNC's Fishing Channel, who has been commenting a lot on my videos. I haven't been giving shout outs on videos, but I'll put their links in the description for this video. Thanks for watching.